Namaskar. Astral projection and lucid dreaming is a big topic in the spiritual community. And before we get started, please like and subscribe and share the video with anyone who you think would be interesting and hear my experience about lucid dreaming and astral projecting and encountering shadow beings combined. From astral sex to demonic forces or entities, people not truly understanding what it is. As I explained in my previous video, astral projection and lucid dreaming is no different than what you're doing every night when you're going to sleep. When you're going to sleep, your body is going through sleep paralysis, meaning that the brain cannot tell what's real and what's not real. That's in any given situation. The same feeling that a person gets when taxes are right around the corner, about to kill them in their finances, is no different than a lion looking and lurking, waiting to hunt you down and kill you. That same adrenaline and stress that is done to the body, done to you, is no different. The brain cannot tell what is real and what is not real. When you are in astral projection or in lucid dreaming, whether you are aware of it or not, your body is going through sleep paralysis, because if you were not in sleep paralysis, you would be acting out everything that you are doing in your dream, and you don't usually do that. Although there are instances where you see yourself, your leg kick or your arm twitch as you're doing something in your dream. Why that is because you are in sleep paralysis, but sometimes your body ends up acting out despite having sleep paralysis, whatever you are experiencing or doing in your dream. For me, I, from a very young age, always astral projected without knowing exactly what it was or what I was doing. And it always revolved around me flying in high places. And as I started getting older, I started flying less and I started falling more, where I was not necessarily jumping, but allowing myself to fall off a cliff, and right before I'm about to hit impact, my body literally jumps out of the bed as if I just hit the ground. And it was a very interesting experience. People wasn't really able to tell me what was going on as a young child. I used to, before that, the falling dreams came into place, having dreams about me flying, climbing up to the top, highest part of the playground, jumping off, and just when I'm about to hit the ground, I would start flying all over around the playground and beyond. But as I started getting older, I started falling more and flying less. And I think this was showing me a representation of where my consciousness was at the time. I was seen as the special child. And because of this, they were giving me medication. And I also have the ability, since I was born, to see auras. I can see the aura color of everything. Just by gazing at it, it starts coming out. One time, when I became blinded by auras, all the colors of auras, because it was so intense and it was so sensitive and so easy for me to see, that my mother's response was, "Here, just take your medication." And I'll give more information about auras, how to see auras, and who's able to see auras. Everyone is able to see auras, but specifically what you can do in order to play with auras and see what that's like. Anyways, when it came to astral projecting and lucid dreaming, near the time that I ended up finding out that I was astral projecting was back in, I think it was maybe around 2018. No, it was around 2015. And I was working some labor job, and it was an overnight shift. You don't get out till around 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. And then I came home. I slept maybe for 1 or 2 hours. Then I got up to go ahead and take who I was dating at the time to the Bronx. Then the plan was called off, so I went back to sleep. Well, actually, I didn't go back to sleep because I didn't like sleeping during the day, and I decided to sleep later on that night instead. All of those different things allowed me to initiate astral travel. Now, lucid dreaming is something that I was already accustomed to. Lucid dreaming was always done for me while I was still partially unconscious, meaning I wasn't fully aware that I was lucid dreaming. I was experiencing it so intensely that I couldn't tell that I was lucid dreaming. I was basically enjoying some kind of tonic that I drank while I was in my lucid dream, which gave me this really, really amazing high. As I started experiencing that high, even though I was still laying in the bed sideways, my astral body moved from the right to the left and experiencing this and telling my partner, oh my god, this is so amazing, it feels so nice, and then going back into the position that I was sleeping in. So at that point, for me, I've always accessed astral traveling through lucid dreaming. Like, lucid dreaming was like my gateway to astral travel. I've always done both, and it always transitioned one into the other. So another time when I was astral traveling was when I was having a lucid dream that I was driving a car, and as I was driving the car, there was a hill to go down. But instead of going down, because logic goes all out the window when you're dreaming, I started going forward, and the car started tilting because it's literally floating in midair as it's going forward instead of going down. Now for me, someone else was in the passenger seat with me, and for me, I was just like, okay, what's going on? But because my brain cannot understand, it cannot tell what is real and what's not real, it immediately started making my body panic. It started pushing out adrenaline because it's thinking like, mayday, mayday, we're gonna crash, something bad is gonna happen. Because obviously, naturally, if right now you were to be driving a car, your car, instead of going down, is literally floating in midair, your body is gonna freak out. Majority of you is gonna freak out. And it's not gonna be like you want to freak out, but it's just going to be like an automatic body response. It's almost like there are times where I woke up and I was astral projecting, but I didn't leave my body. But because I was still thinking that I was my body and I wasn't aware that I could just leave my body, I tried to move my physical body. But by trying to move my physical body, my brain immediately noticed, like, everything is so quick with our network system in our body, with our nervous system. The brain was so quick to calculate and see, I'm not able to move the body. And it went into this kind of like panic mode because it's trying to move something physical that has yet woken up. And as a response, again, adrenaline, panic mode. And then this is where it gets a little tricky. As my body started going through panic mode and my brain is producing adrenaline, I am experiencing this as fear, more as like a flight or fight response. And I broke out of the sleep paralysis. Now, my most favorite sleep paralysis was my engagement with the shadow people. I did end up learning recently that the shadow people are extraterrestrial. They're not just like some weird demonic entities or beings that are just floating around and waiting to suck your blood like some succubus. No, they are entities. They are extraterrestrials. So are we. And one of my sleep paralysis, my astral projection, I woke up, I was still asleep. It started with lucid dreaming into astral projection. So with the lucid dreaming, I was working at that plant that I told you guys about. That plant, it was laborious work. I was doing a palm reading for one of my coworkers. The moment I started doing the palm reading and started telling them about what I'm seeing, and the same time of me looking up to them to speak was the same time that their hand was changing. And by the time I was halfway to look up at their face, it became a shadow being. It was just a shadow being in front of me that was posing as my coworker. And it was interesting, as I was physically trying to look up to see their face, the adrenaline started being produced by the brain. I started freaking out because I was not able to do a regular body function. And the shadow being, it was almost like, so I'm going to use a Minecraft example. You know the Endermans? They're like these tall, slim, purple eyes kind of beings that exist in a different dimension. The way those Endermen move, the way they like kind of almost simultaneously teleport from one location to the other, that shadow being was responding the same as I was trying to break out of the sleep paralysis, or basically just to wake up, not to make it sound scary, to wake up. And it was like porting to different locations in my room as I was trying to do it. I don't know why. I don't know if I was doing something to it. I don't know if I was frightening it. I just know that my body was panicking because I was not able to look up at the person I was trying to look at. And I never felt hurt. I never felt drained. I never felt like it was trying to do something to me or trying to hurt me. I have to state that because there's lots of people where they immediately think, oh my God, it's something that's dark. It's something that's black. It's something that is from the unknown, oh no, it's dangerous, oh no, I'm scared. Like the immediate response is someone being scared. And that's been implanted in us in order for us to not explore the astral realm, in order for us to not explore the unknown, and then that gets in the way of other things like your finances and starting a business and, you know, loving people and being in a relationship, blah 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 blah. I won't get into all that now. Astral projecting and lucid dreaming is not something that you need to be afraid of. There's nothing that's going to come and hurt you. It's a natural thing that you're doing, whether you are aware of it or not, whether you want to or not. It's a natural function of us as spiritual beings that we are. How exactly did I accidentally astral project during that time when I was working at the power plant? Well, there are a few things that I saw that I did that was on the WikiHow on how to astral project. Some of the things that I did, I went to bed very late, but I didn't even technically go to sleep. I ended up going to sleep after I got off my shift, which was basically after 2-3 o'clock in the morning, maybe around 4. And then I went to sleep. Then I slept for 2 to 3 hours, so I slept very short. Then I woke up. I didn't go back to sleep, went to sleep for that night. That's when I woke up. I realized, oh, I can see my room. I'm still asleep. I can see my room. I can hear the birds chirping. I can see the sunlight coming through the windows. When I decided to wake up, it was all the same. It's not like I was dreaming and imagining these things. When I decided to wake up out of the lucid dream, sleep paralysis, astral projection, the birds were still chirping. The sunlight was still coming through my windows, and I was able to see that because the way that I was sleeping on my left side, and I was able to see that part of my room and hear it while I was still while my body was still sleeping. I was able to see all of that with my third eye. This is my encounter with shadow beings, my experiences with astral projection. It's really easy for me because I've always experienced them both together, lucid dreaming and astral projection. It's hard for me to say what exactly I'm experiencing. I was in France one time sitting up on the bed, and I just crossed my arms like this, and all of a sudden I like slip into a sleep, and then I can see everything. I'm like awake when my body fell asleep, and I'm literally like seeing everything and astral projecting. I just like slipped into it. I didn't have to lay down and get into some meditative space. When it happens now, it happens how it happened when I was much younger, like I told you guys, back in 2015 and 16. If you have any questions or comments down below of your experience of astral projection or lucid dreaming,